Hey, it's Aaron, and today we're going to talk a little bit about UNIFOR versus the co-op oil refinery. And a lot of people probably have no idea what this story is all about, but it's absolutely amazing what the people at UNIFOR, this union that represents the workers at the co-op refinery, have been doing to basically get more of what they deserve. Better pension plans, more pay, that sort of thing. The usual union thing. But their tactics, my God, their tactics are so good, and we're going to talk about them a little bit today. So, UNIFOR is the union that represents the workers at the co-op oil refinery in, I believe, Regina, Saskatchewan. And it's a really interesting thing what they've done. They are basically implementing something similar to siege warfare against this oil refinery. Now, for the last 3 weeks, they've been on strike, and as soon as they went to go on strike, the co-op refinery reacted very much like a child, saying, well, you know what, if you want to just go out on strike, then we're going to lock you out so you can't even get back in. And that's exactly what they did, using it, basically saying this under the guise of it being unsafe for their workers to be working for part of the day and then leaving to go join in this union and then circling back and forth sort of thing to keep the refinery going. So that's unsafe. So they were going to lock out the union workers from being able to enter the building and have their highly trained and highly skilled management team take care of the day-to-day. Well, it turns out that the union is really quite militant, and they were not having any part of that. So once they were forced out onto the street and not allowed back in, though they were going on strike anyway, they decided to employ some certain militant tactics, and one of those was a blockade stopping any of the traffic from getting into the refinery itself. So that means that these people that were working, this management staff and whatever scabs they could find, had to rely on trucks bringing in supplies such as food and that sort of thing, along with the oil trucks that were doing their routine deliveries. And trust me, the oil trucks is the bigger deal to the company here, not the food supply. But that was the thing that was brought up across the news was, oh, they're stopping the food supply. So basically they're impeding the trucks for the most part from getting in and out of the building and heckling scabs that walk across the picket line. Makes a lot of sense. That's something that a lot of people would do if they were picketing and they don't want people to just fill the positions that they had so the business continues to make money. The idea of militant unionized workers going out on strike is to stop the ability of that capitalist industry to continue running. So that's exactly what they're doing. So they implemented siege warfare to a certain extent, prohibiting any of the supplies actually getting through the lines. Absolutely amazing tactic. I was super interested to hear about this, but the co-op refinery, being that they are a multi-billion-dollar industry, they decided to fight against this by, instead of having any of their supplies or their scab workers go through the front gates and be stopped by the protesters, they decided to have them flown in with a helicopter. So they're spending however millions of dollars it is flying in a bunch of these scab workers and all of their resources and all of their equipment and so forth with helicopters and basically breaking the picket line that way. Well, again, the union was not happy about this either, so they went to the city and said that they are illegally, or maybe not illegally, but unsafely transporting scab workers across the picket line because this refinery doesn't even have a real helicopter pad. So obviously there is a lot of going back and forth with how all this is being handled, and I think that what the union workers have done is absolutely incredible, absolutely outstanding, and it's so cool to see in real time a bunch of militant workers getting together, fighting for their rights, and actually doing something that stops that capitalist industry from even functioning. And immediately as this happened, the smear campaigns from the conservative pundits all across Canada have been going crazy, saying, oh, well, people shouldn't be doing this sort of action because they're lazy and they need to just get back to work. And how could you be impeding all of these delivery trucks from getting in there? You do realize that the delivery truck drivers, they have families too, you know, and we have to think about them. Of course, they don't really care about the delivery truck drivers. They just care about the delivery trucks themselves being able to get in and take the oil away. But that's what they're saying. And then they're also saying, oh, but you also have to think of all of the farmers and all of the other people who need this oil. They need the oil, and you're doing it just before Christmas. How could you do this just before Christmas? Well, I think it's a perfect time to be doing this just before Christmas and hopefully through Christmas, because these industries need to see that the workers are the ones that actually hold the power here. And when they fight together and when they actually unionize and work hard with one another, they can win. And I love that. And I think it's fantastic. And it's something that everybody should be getting to be more of a part of. So one thing that I just want to stress is that these union workers, they are marching around in the cold, in the bitter cold, minus 27 degrees Celsius at some times, which is minus 16 degrees Fahrenheit, absolutely freezing. And they're out there every single day working hard for the rights of not just them, but demonstrating that workers can fight for their rights all across the world. So if you are somehow anywhere near this area, definitely go down there. Give these guys some coffee, give them some donuts, and you know, hang out for a little while, talk to them, figure it all out. I know that if I somehow make it down there, I definitely would like to, because that is so cool. Maybe I'll try to do some interviews or whatever if I actually get a chance to go down there. I might be driving past that way just before Christmas, so we'll see. But in the meantime, if everybody that knows how to get involved in union activity, definitely leave comments in the comment section down below. I want to know your tips on how to get involved and invested in different types of union organizing, or getting together in a union at all. And if you leave some awesome comments, then I'll read them on the next show. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Aaron. If you do get a chance, check out the Patreon. Every dollar helps fund this show. And like I've said in the last couple of videos, get out there, get active. Politics isn't a spectator sport. Have a nice day.